We're gonna jump in. And welcome everyone to the Mechanics Institute on this Saturday morning as we are here to cover the 2021 San Francisco Scholastic Chess Championship. My name is Abel Talamantes, chess director at the Mechanics Institute, and joining me, as always, is Grandmaster and three-time U.S. champion Nick DeFermian and FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Good, thank you.
And we're here to cover this event that usually it's always offered for free for the kids with rated and non-rated sections. The non-rated sections are divided by grade level, but it's usually held in Golden Gate Park. But last year and then this year we're not able to do that, obviously, with all the shelter in place. But we have a record turnout this year. We're going to have to wait till after all the Chess Kid rounds start, because we have the non-rated sections on Chess Kid and then the rated sections on chess.com. But I think we are going to have a record for participants. I think we're going to be over 300. So we're really excited about the turnout and the enthusiasm. And I'm excited that Scholastic Chess is going to take front and center in a full day of coverage.
It's fantastic. Well, I mean, as long as these kids don't come down to the chess club eventually and beat Nick and I think we're pretty happy with this, the way things are going.
Well, and we can cover them now, right? Because they may not quite be at that level yet, and then when they do get to that level, we'll invite them to do simuls for us and take advantage of their greatness.
Actually, some incredible chess players have come out of the club, like Sam Shanklin and Daniel Naroditsky and stuff. So if you're a junior player, you're in the right spot.
This is the place to be. And we're going to start off with the 1600 plus section. And this is board one of that section. Logan Tovias is playing white here against Roger Shi.
So Roger's the top seed, huh? In the whole tournament.
He is the top seed at 1782.
Nice. And his 1915 rating is a chess.com rating.
Correct. That's the chess.com rating.
So some of these guys like Callahan and other players that we know, young players, they didn't show up.
They didn't show up. We have some mechanics kid players that are pretty strong that did show up that play. Sebi Suarez is playing in this section.
Okay.
We know he's a fine talent. Yali Danzig Perlman, who's taken a bye in this round. Sanjeev Anand. So we actually have players that play the TNM, the kids, especially in the under 1600 and the under 1000 sections. We have a lot of our players that usually play the Chess Kid Scholastics. But the top players, they may be playing other rated events with like cash prizes, because there's a lot of USCF events going on this weekend. So
oh, wow.
That's probably what's happening.
Interesting. And yet we've got 300 people.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And check out this pawn structure in the board 2 of the 1600 plus. Raging Beast 360, Shravan Sriram is taking on Emilio Rodriguez, who's playing black.
Boy, they've locked it all up on the queen side.
But White's just played pawn f5? I guess, I see, wants to defend e3 at the expense of the pawn at h2.
Right, right. That's like a temporary fix, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess he didn't want to lose. Oh, and black played h6. Okay, that's a good move.
You can just go back, though, right? Bishop f4 now.
Then when black takes, the e3 square is still vulnerable. But anyway, I'm blabbing on. Maybe white has something like h3 here. I don't know.
Well, white has to play h3, and then you chuck that knight way down in the corner with knight h2, hitting the rook and the bishop.
Yeah.
So it looks like black wins a bit of material.
Yep.
And we'll see how the time control is game in 25 plus 5. And it's 5 rounds. So the round times are 9, 11, 12:30, 2, and 4:30. No, 9, 11, I believe 1, actually. I shouldn't put out false information, because then someone goes out to eat and takes a little bit longer, and then they'll say, well, Abel said on the broadcast that the round time was this.
Yeah, you better check. Double
9,
check.
yeah, 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 2:30 p.m., and 4 p.m.
And this is more than another. Yeah, well, this tournament precedes the Clay Thompson tournament.
And it's more than that. And yeah, this is a little more historical for us and ingrained.
Started in 2012. So
Actually, 2013.
2013.
And with Grandmaster Nick DeFermian kind of launching everything and getting it together. And
yeah, with the trustees of the Mechanics Institute and participation of Daniel Naroditsky giving simuls and all that stuff. It's quite impressive.
And this is another chess tournament, another free chess tournament, but this is something that we do annually, the San Francisco Scholastic Championship. We have 3 USCF rated sections on chess.com in addition to non-rated sections on ChessKid. The ChessKid sections will kick off at 10 a.m. So these ones started first. And here's board 3 in the 1600 plus. And we will go down to the under 1600 and so on. This is Brandon Tovias against Vedant Talwalkar. Server Busy's Vedant Talwalkar, who gave a scare in the Tuesday Night Marathon to International Master Brian Escalante a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, this is a good player.
Yeah.
That Black Knight is hopping in there and once caused trouble on C2 or D3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good kind of
the hopping knight.
got past the forces there. And we have to do a quick check on the Sebi Meister. Sebi Suarez, 10-year-old Sebi Suarez playing white here.
You know, we're going to be watching him throughout the years. It's going to be fascinating because he's progressing so well. And by the time he's 12, maybe he'll be an international master.
He's going to go the Christopher Yu route, possibly. Yeah.
Well, he's under a little bit of pressure here by Black. If knight takes f2, rook f3, I guess. So
Nice, tricky move.
tricky, but still, if Black just stays put, he's got to be a little bit better here.
Oh, that was a nice move. But anyway, you take on f5, maybe trade the knights and rook to g3 to bear down on that g7 pawn. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Heavy Meister's okay. It's about equal.
And let's take a look at board 1 in the under 1600 section. And this is Jocelyn Wren. She is playing white against the top seed in this section, Manit Monga, 1584. And Jocelyn at 1141. And Jocelyn's actually got a higher chess.com rating than her opponent, even though he's higher USCF rated.
It's interesting how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the ratings, we should really downplay the ratings because especially they're kids and boy, the ratings don't really mean much when you're developing that fast.
And, and it seems like Jocelyn's trying to put a lot of pressure here on Black.
Yeah, you can see that.
Oh, look at
that name sounds familiar to me. Jocelyn Wren.
Yeah, she's played a lot of events. If I'm remembering right, she was part of the winning team at last year's U.S. Amateur Team West Kids tournament. But I think she plays regularly in Bay Area events.
Okay, yeah, she does. That name does sound quite familiar to me, for some reason.
And I think she's a member of the Bright Knights chess team. So Vincent of the Bright Knights, he's actually assisting as a Zoom TD in these sections.
Nice.
So thanks to
Yeah,
the
shout out
Bright.
to him. Boy, I haven't seen him in a long time.
Shout out to Vincent and the Bright Knights Chess Club.
And they've continued to run kids events during this pandemic. With,
Yeah, we
some online.
Judith and Vincent team up, and we just make sure we schedule events on different weekends so that everyone can participate. And they were instrumental in getting the word out to their club about this event and the coming U.S. Junior Chess Congress. So yeah, it's a great collaboration, and we certainly support everything they do as they support our stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say this is a serious event. 25 game and 25 plus 5.
Yeah, it's like real chess.
Yeah, it is real chess.
And here we are, board 3. This is Luke Wajaja, number 2 seed in the under 1600 against Shiv Sohal.
Finding himself a pawn down.
Oh, he should have done rook takes b2.
Yes.
Or the queen takes b2, bishop takes h7 check. But he
nice
he
little
missed that one.
tactic right there.
Yep.
How do you see those so quick, Nick?
You depend on those kids to find stuff.
And it looks like black is going for the same type of thing there.
Yeah, white missed a golden opportunity.
And thank you.
Danger for both sides here.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. And going on to the next board, here we have Isabella Castillo playing black against Aditya Bang. Isabella's Bellicast.
Bellicast. Well, I'm seeing some really hard-fought games here. I mean, it's the games that you've shown, nobody's running away with it here.
Yeah, it's a high quality event. These players are very strong.
And let's check some games from the up and comers in the under 1,000 section. Although admittedly, a lot of those games are falling off because they're still learning to use their time. But
it's a funny thing to play really quickly when you don't need to.
No, that's over. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to be hard pressed to find a game that is
In progress.
in progress in that section.
That's amazing. So, when does the sort of the main event kick off?
This is it, the 1600 plus section.
But I mean the chess kids were the majority of the players.
No, actually, it's almost an equal balance of the number of players, actually.
Is that right?
But that one will kick off at 10 a.m. And that is a continuously running tournament. So there's no prescribed round times for those.
Is that right? What a great idea! So kids can just play when they want to. So jump in.
Well, no, they play until all the games in a round are done, and then
I see.
The next round starts. So here's a game between Serena Liu, who is white, the Shining Crystal, against Zaina Ributh, Swirl Pawn. And I'm remembering Swirl Pawn participated in the Thompson Family Foundation event. Just because it's
tough little position here. Rook and 3 pawns versus 2 pieces. Oh no, what am I talking about? Black's a knight ahead for 3 pawns.
Yeah.
How come I get so confused?
But black is winning a pawn back, so endgame's just that his or her favor is world pawn.
Yeah. Black is going to be good in this position.
So the goal for white is to try to exchange a bunch of
Trade
pieces.
every single pawn.
And then try to use those pawns
That's
as
a good
fighting pieces.
Yeah, the pawns on the king side are not very effective right now. This is what I'm coming to realize, Nick, as a teacher, that it's assessing positions and what the player should do is the most important thing, I think, for the developing chess player.
That was a really good description, that the kingside pawns just aren't, a factor. Right?
Yeah. What am I supposed to do in this position seems to be just about the most important question a chess player can ask of themselves.
Well, at least it implies a contemplation of next steps, right?
How fast those moves come.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, rook to e3. It's like you want to show you can move in.
Take your time.
Yeah, and what is the psychology of that? Is like you're trying to show confidence, and or is it you just don't have the patience and just want to blast the moves out?
I think it's what you just said. That it's funny that actually some decent moves are kind of being played, kind of.
It would help if they slowed down a bit.
Yeah. Slowing down is a good thing. Chess requires thought. For example, white just hangs a knight here, and that's that's the kind of thing that if you take a little time, you're going to see.
And in this game,
kids are used to moving fast, playing a lot of blitz games.
And white is the higher rated player here, but playing.
We'll see if he can make a comeback. It'll take a blunder from black.
Oh wow! Elected not to trade.
It's more fun to have your queen on the board.
Yeah, because he could do a lot, right?
But it's something like queen f3 and rook to h1, and you may regret that.
Right. Yep. Oh, yeah. A lot of traps, tricks and traps.
So, what's the fair play?
Actually
going on here, because I thought I looked at some of the rules and regulations for the tournament, and it was pretty extensive.
Yeah, so all the players in the chess.com section are on camera.
That's amazing.
If you're in the under 1600 and under 1000 section, you're using one camera. If you're playing the 1600 plus championship, you have a front-facing camera and a side camera showing the screen behind you.
That is extraordinary. To my way of
And we have great TDs just monitoring the cameras. Reka Stare, Aaron Thompson, just great people monitoring. And then we have Allison Wong also helping out.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then Vincent, like I said, and then John McCumsky is running the computer, and then Judith is there also doing her thing. So, and Sean Lee, congratulations, you won your first game.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching too.
Yeah, tell all the moms and dads that they've got to watch.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to be sending an email soon to all the parents and say, "Hey, reminder, watch your kid on the stream.
Finish your breakfast and then come in and oh, look at that!
Checkmate.
Look at
Yes.
that.
Black is a good player,
Just
I think,
boxed
and
in.
you know, took the queen, took the knight, and then should deliver this quick checkmate.
Yeah.
Nice.
The white's pieces working against them right there.
Yeah.
And going back to Sebi's game, Sebi's in a little bit of trouble right here, but
Oh, yeah. Let's see, Sebi. Oh, that didn't go his way. That pawn's march to f4, protected past pawn. The black kings come up. Oh, Sebi, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
he's going to have to work his way out of a jam. Like, what do you do after rook g3, right? Isn't that sort of the...
That is my candidate move as well. Yeah, I think black is winning here. Tough little game.
And look at this position. We were watching this game earlier with Jocelyn Wren. I mean, look.
Oh, check. Winning the knight on h6 for the one on g7. So she's 2 pawns ahead.
Nice game for white, I suppose. Yeah.
And you see black's queen is just sort of out in no man's land over there on the queen side.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pawns are connected, the queen doesn't really have any function.
Yeah, and like Nick said, 2 pawns ahead should be a relatively simple win for white, unless black can get all sorts of things going on the king side. But that's a long way off.
And as we check in back on the top board over here, all these games on chess.com are manually paired. So Chief TD Judith Stare starting all the games herself manually.
Wow.
And so yeah, and it's because we do that we are able to have prescribed round times and players can take buys because we're in control of the start of the games. Where otherwise, the games continue on a rolling basis, and nobody can really take a break because you never know when all the games will be done in a round, and then the next round starts right away.
Right.
And Logan is trying to.
Logan's in trouble here.
Yeah, he's trying to hang tight, but it's gonna be tough.
Black has maybe bishop c4 and bishop g5 or some. White's got a very difficult position.
Pawn down against the top C.
Yeah.
And going back to this game with Sebi, just because it's interesting, he seems like he got a pawn back, but he seems to be disconnected from being able to stop that pawn.
Okay, now f3 failed to rook f8. So
Very nice.
that would be a blunder to get Sebi right back in the game.
And does this move give him enough time to be able to swing over to h8 and then come back, right? Because he can't just push the pawn.
He's at least able to stop that f pawn. So
Yeah, I mean, and then who knows, maybe in the distant future, white could play c3 and b4 or something like that.
still tough.
Yeah,
But
it's
he's
a
not
tough
out.
position. Black renews the threat of pawn f3. Must be winning for black.
Yeah, but it's like Abel said, get that white rook back in, rook to h8, come around, and d8.
And look at this position here. Swirl
Oh,
pawn.
nice. Oh, look, it's Sebi made a pass pawn.
Oh my gosh, this is not looking good for white here.
Checkmate in 2 moves.
Yeah.
They played this so quickly. Just a couple minutes ago, it was this full middle game and so many pieces on the board. Now all those white pawns that Paul said weren't effective have gotten taken.
And looks like Swirl Pawn has figured it out. So we'll watch. And I like, there you go. Swirl Pawn making sure everything checks out and mate on the board. Congratulations to Swirl Pawn on that one.
Swirl Pawn. Great name.
There's something about that name. Here's this game. This is... Let me find the user here.
Ooh, Black's B5.
Tara
That's
Prem.
an action move.
Yeah, Action Jackson.
Tara Prem playing white against Erica Zhao.
So Queen takes B5.
And some of these games started a little bit later, just because we had to reconcile some usernames.
I can see that.
And so, but after this round, we did give ourselves some time the next round to sort of catch up. But after this round, everything should be caught up and good to go. A natural thing where we had just so many entries yesterday. Everyone wanted to get in on the party.
Fantastic. Such a turnout. That's...
Yeah, a lot of fun for the kids. We actually had a closed registration. We had a closed registration yesterday just because it was just so many entries coming in.
And Abel, are you getting people from different areas?
Oh yeah, all over the country. I mean, we have Florida. Irina Crush has some students playing this in the under 1,000 section. So New York, Florida, Mississippi, Washington, all over. Atlanta. There's like a team from Atlanta playing.
Wow.
So yeah, it's all over the place. So someone's asking, will I stream the Chess Kid one after the chess.com in between rounds? I'm going to attempt to cover some of the games on Chess Kid. The problem is that it's actually a little bit of a challenge to cover the Chess Kid games because on chess.com I'm able to pull a bunch of games and I have the tabs on the side, so it's easy for me to toggle between games. It's not quite... Yeah. I know it's you, Adi. On Chess Kid, it doesn't have that, so I literally have to go one game at a time and look up a player, so it's a little more of a challenge to do that. And that's one of the reasons we had an under 1,000 section on chess.com, because it's easier for us to cover the game. So I think I will try to do it a little bit later. I think it would be cool to cover some Chess Kid games, but it's not as easy as the chess.com platform to stream, just because it's kind of a pain. Because you have to go one game at a time. You can't pull up a bunch of games on Chess Kid and then just toggle between them. And going back to Sebi, because we were checking out that endgame, and something happened here.
Something always does happen. Oh my gosh!
What
Black
happened?
blundered a rook.
Yeah,
Oh my God!
What happened? So,
Can you go back on that one?
Yeah. So, staying on this position once you stop seeing the pieces move. So here we are. I mean, look at that. I mean, Black is looking pretty solid. Check.
And nice move to get the pawn going.
Look at that.
Check.
That's what happened.
Oh, wow.
What a tactic right there.
Oh, that's Sebi.
Yeah, a little bit of tactics.
Survived, Sebi, but fascinating tactic. That was a good one right there. And just goes to show, like, you know, find your resources.
Never say die.
Yeah, find your resources, because you never know. Great game. Going back to this one where Vedant Tallwalker's opponent's got 11 seconds left.
Well, this is a good position for black, to say the least.
2 pawns ahead and
Yeah.
8 minutes ahead.
White's on the ropes.
Is white just... Oh, he moved.
6 seconds.
This will be nerve-wracking. Every single move, you will worry whether white will flag.
It's going to be tough. And the key for a lot of kids, too, is that if you're the player that has more time, don't let your opponent's time carry you too fast, because I think people think that they got to blitz out to try to put the pressure on the opponent to, like, flag, but then you end up causing a blunder that gets your opponent back in the game.
Grandmasters make the same mistake.
Yeah,
so
it's like a human nature thing. Yeah,
it's a common malady. Or it's not always a mistake, right, Nick?
Well, if you're right, everybody makes the kind of mistake, but yeah, you live and learn, though. After you've done that a couple times, you say, I'm going to be slow next time.
Right, yeah. King c7 looks like the safe move, but probably bishop e3 would have done the trick too.
Various ways for black to win the game.
Yeah.
I like, though, the white king is charging in, trying to cause trouble.
We're seeing some stout defense here.
Uh-oh.
Look at that, the bishop's trapped. Nice shot.
That's a funny trap, isn't it? Unusual.
Yes.
Unusual.
Well, now it
That's just a matter
shouldn't
of time.
matter with the time.
Yeah. Black is winning, of course.
Switching games back to this game we were looking at earlier.
Ooh, what is going on here? What? Not a great move. Bishop takes knight. Yeah, bishop takes knight first.
Yeah.
Bishop takes knight, pawn takes bishop.
Queen,
And then bishop d5 check.
wins everything, or is actually mate. Yeah. Looks like white's got this one.
But it has to be accurate the next couple moves.
Have to play the moves still, right?
If your name is Chess Whiz, you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Black played some good moves in this game. That's kind of a little bit disappointing, maybe.
He forgot to castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking on the a lot of games falling off the. Let me pull up another.
Falling off the cliff.
It's funny how fast these. Oops.
So I remember this tournament being held in the park, and the birds flying overhead, and the trees, and the sunshine, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Outside of the playing hall.
Yeah, we don't have any of that anymore.
Nick, did you ever play in the 1970s? There were some tournaments. I think the Golden Gate Open was held.
That was in. Was that in that Hall of Flowers there?
There was a couple of there was at least 2 tournaments I played in there. I thought one of them was called the Golden Gate Open, but I could be wrong.
And
Or maybe they were.
Back in the 1970s.
Back in the 1970s. Amazing.
Look at this game here between Smart Goldfish and Chico.
Smart Goldfish.
Like Black's past pawn over there.
I think Black is very strongly placed here. Just has to not be afraid to play pawn to g5.
A pawn to g5 and take the pawn on b4 would be really good, but he's still little time left. Maybe that black king could get in trouble.
Yep.
And what do you?
Very safe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think of that move? Like, is that
Nice and safe?
It's a good move.
Is that just to keep the tension, or?
It's to keep the G pawn.
So that slows black down a bit, but
Queen was
still,
on G3. Yeah.
You can go Queen A4, snatch that B pawn. It's bad. I think you got to go crazy here. Pawn to D5.
Yes.
Just make a break.
Going crazy is a chess strategy. Grandmaster chess strategy. We all need to learn.
Yeah, if you play
something Alyekin wrote, he said, you know, the opponent when he's desperate is at his most dangerous.
Who said that?
Alyekin.
Oh yeah,
world champion from the 30s.
And if you go
great player.
D5, is there anything with like Bishop H6 and then pushing the E pawn and just
and Queen H8 mate.
Queen
I love
H8
it.
mate.
Yeah. Oh, I like that, Abel. You've got good swindling talent.
Yeah, it's like I don't have the talent under regular conditions, but for swindles, I look for them, and sometimes I find them.
No, that's a great idea. That's a good way to think about chess, I think, in ways like that. Well, now Queen B4, Queen A8 check is another swindle win.
And both minutes approaching like a minute left.
Oh, and now Bishop H6 is happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
Oh,
this is definitely swindle territory here.
Yeah.
Even though I think white is busted, but there's still some chances here.
Another good solid move from black.
Now black's got...
Oh, bishops of opposite color. And those pawns push.
Oh.
Well, white might have some chances here to draw.
Trading the queens is a draw.
Should have taken the queen, right? Should have taken it.
Queen B3 is a mistake.
Should have taken and then bishop C3.
Yeah.
And time pressure sure played like a little role in that.
Hi, Glenn. You're right. Trading queens and bishop C3.
Yep. Say, we hope the kids check this out after, because they would have known of an opportunity that might have gone away.
One that got away.
And Glenn Panner will be joining us shortly, and we'll be yakking on things chess, and we maybe even talk barbecue, because I think he likes to smoke meats. I think he even said that he's a better meat smoker than even a chess player. So it's good to have our hobbies and interests, and that is not a bad one to have.
White's still in the game.
Oof. Now, can White just tie this up with bishop b2 and then queen d2? Oh, we took that away, sort of.
White's getting closer and closer to some kind of blockade, but
It looks like, oh, that was not a good move.
Yeah.
Now needed to go queen e3.
yeah. White's aversion to trading queens is
Huh.
well. Now Black's going to have another queen on the board.
That is too many queens.
We've seen miracles happen.
23 seconds.
We can see 3 queens on the board. That's actually something we don't see a whole lot of usually.
No.
Does the third queen happen? Let's see.
It happens. It happens.
did.
It happens. But this one is over. So we're going to switch it off now. We're going to switch it up and go to this game, which still got a lot of time left, because I think this started late.
Okay.
Well, Black has survived temporarily a piece down.
And looking on the sheet, I think
Not good
lot of
for
games are
Black
out.
still.
the top section is all done. Had some upsets there.
White's taking over this game.
Looks like White's got not just the extra piece, but the forces infiltrating.
And let me see what other games are still going, and we can take a peek at those. We've got some terrific usernames on chess.com. One of them is Check Me Later.
Is what? Check me later?
Check Me Later. You know who's playing is Ugandan Knuckles.
Ugandan Knuckles.
Your favorite player, Paul.
Well, what a great name.
Ugandan Knuckles was playing Pillow Burger, but that game ended. So
Pillow Burger?
Pillow Burger.
That's got to be the game of the round. Ugandan Knuckles versus Pillow Burger. Incredible.
Oh,
White needs to remember that he has a rook at A1 and get that thing into the game. Oh, this is not looking good for Black, of course.
Yes, but can you win with 20 seconds left?
If the pawns come off the board, it's like you never know what's going to happen, because with seconds on the clock, you know.
Is this an upset as well? In terms of rating, it looks like it.
Let's see.
At least on chess.com rating.
Yeah, Black is the higher rated player. Black here is 1325 to 1059 for White. And
Well, White's doing quite well here.
And Black trying to hang on to the rook and pawn at all costs here. And trying to chip away at White's time.
Well, after reading that, I think after reading that comment about the strong knight at d4, which was really doing nothing until it got activated, my chess thinking is completely turned around now.
Who is it who wrote that comment? Sounds like
Scholastic.
Ah.
Yeah, he was talking about Black had this beautiful knight on d4 in some position, but Plugiewski was full of derision for it. It was until it moved to f5 and became active. It really wasn't doing anything except for just looking beautiful on d4. So it kind of opened up my chess thinking in a funny way.
And
can never be satisfied with a good piece. It has to actually do something for
this is the last game of the round right here. All the games from the first round.
They've got so much time.
Yeah, because they got their game started a little bit late. And not surprising, especially in a first round where we're getting the user ID squared away and whatever. So this game probably started a little bit late, and that's why. But then after this round, for round 2, like everything should be on the exact same schedule. All the user IDs confirmed, everything ready to go. The Chess Kid round tournament had started already a few minutes ago. And we may even try to look at a game or two. Because in the Chess Kit section, we have Kinder through 1 section, a grade 2 to 3 section, grades 4 to 5, and then a grade 6 through 12. Non-rated, so USCF membership's not required. But they still compete for prizes. All the people that win prizes in this tournament, we have this special event medal that we will mail or deliver to the participant. So the winners will get something, either in the mail or on their doorstep. But no trophies, all medals. They're a lot easier to ship. Medals are a lot easier to ship.
Is that right? Trophies are easier to ship than medals?
No, medals are easier to ship.
Oh, yeah, that's what... Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I misheard. Well, Black is still completely on the ropes here, and but never say die here.
Let's see. Maybe
he would love to see Rook takes pawn. Black would love to see Rook takes pawn right now, right?
Yeah, Rook takes c6,
and then Bishop d6,
or even better, Rook takes c6,
or that too.
Actually, both of them would be good.
Or back to back. Then they're back in the game.
Actually, Bishop d6 wouldn't work because of Bishop c5.
Oh, look at that. Look at the tricks. Speaking of the tricks, you got your article in the newsletter that came out this morning on the tactics from the 1896 World Championship.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to catch up to the contemporary times.
Dirty tricks over 100 years ago, even in chess.
Oh, can I ask you, were they swindlers back then?
Yeah. I mean, of course, in chess, there's a lot of self-swindling going on as well. So it's hard to tell sometimes.
That would be a great article, the self-swindle. You just, when you walk yourself into something.
Yeah. Well, that's quite common.
Oh, for me, for sure.
Yeah, the world championship matches are not always the best chess being played. I mean, in a strict sense, there's so much, they're so tense, and the matches, the players are so nervous.
And Luke.
Warriors 1976, sometimes Warriors 1986, is just boasting that he mated his opponent with a knight.
So what's your username? I think that's Audi7
Yeah,
GSW.
You remember he kept changing his Warriors username?
Yeah, it's like from year to year. 7 GSW. There it is, right there.
Oh, Chess Whiz is getting the checkmate with Rook G7 and Bishop G5. It's gonna be over.
This is white coordinated pieces here.
Nice game by Chess.
No swindle here.
Chess 4 Whiz is one of our mechanics players, right?
Let me see. Who's the Chess 4 Whiz?
That name sounds familiar.
Rings a bell?
Yeah. Rings a bell.
Let's see.
There's a famous joke about a bell ringer that's actually a 3-part joke.
It's Tara Prem. Tara Prem. I think it's from an out-of-towner, I think.
Okay. My bad. Black's interposing all kinds of pieces. It's saying, you cannot checkmate me. Bishop East.
It's gonna. Wow, look at that.
Look at that. It's an interference move, but it's a little bit late.
White should come up around with a rook e5, rook a5, and then rook a8. Just literally using all the pieces to get in on the mate.
Yeah, there's a famous joke that has 3 punchlines. Have you ever heard of it? It's the bell ringer joke. But
Right.
it doesn't have much to do with chess, and I think it's a clean joke. It's not one of those. And of course I don't remember it anyway, so.
Well, Paul, you're going to have to tell it on one of these broadcasts. Maybe
Yeah, I'll
the
have to
Chess
look it
Cafe or
up.
something.
It's the only joke with 3 punchlines, I think. It's a famous joke. Some town that needs a bell ringer, and they advertise, and something like that.
So in the chat, if you want to follow someone on chess.com's game and they are playing, if you do not hashtag.
White missed a mate in 1. That's not a good sign.
Uh-oh.
Well, if Black comes back from this,
Yeah. And Sebi's on top of it in the chat. Yeah, or you can check the Google Doc. That's another way to find players.
And rook f7 is made, of course.
There we go. That is all the games from the round.
This was a good fight, this game, for sure.
All the games from the round are in.
Wow. And when does the next round start?
Next round, it starts at 11.
Okay.
11. We're going to have Glenn Panner come in soon, I think in about 15 minutes or so.
Do you need to take a break, Abel?
Yeah, let me just take a couple of minutes, and then I'll be right back. And then when I come back, if you guys want to take a break, and I think I might try to find some of the Chess Kid games and see if we can follow a little bit of their action. So I'll be right back.
Good.
well, that round went smoothly. That was really good.
Yeah. I mean, this online chess is it's an amazing thing. It's
Yes.
chess is adapted so easily to it. Does how is Christopher, Nick?
Oh, he's down. He's in UCLA in graduate school now.
Is
He's
that right?
gotten gotten
Congratulations.
older.
Right, congratulations.
So Reka is one of the TDs here, and one of
You know what I watched the other day, Nick? I was watching some of this Magnus Carlsen chess challenge thing or whatever, this Magnus Carlsen Invitational. And I was on Chess and I looked at there were two grandmasters streaming commentary. One was Jonathan Spielman and the other
oh,
was Arkady Nadich. And
okay.
I kept going back and forth between the two, and it was so interesting to see, they were analyzing the same position, both at home, I suppose, and it was just interesting to see how differently they both looked at the positions. The same position they'd be analyzing it, just completely different
And one
thoughts.
player would like the white side, and one would like the black side.
It might be that, or they looking at different variations or different plans and different ideas. And it really made me think that chess has got quite I mean, the positions were sort of normal middle game positions. So it was really made me think that there's no pinning it down in a way.
Yeah, well, that's very nice that there's scope for imagination and creativity. You don't have to follow this one path.
Yeah. It was interesting to see too, like Spielman immediately was analyzing variations. Like that was where his mind went, just straight to looking at variations. Whereas Nadich almost never gave, more than a move or two. And it was always sort of a general, the pieces go here or there kind of analysis. And he was more opinionated than Spielman about the position, so it was just funny. It's always interesting to hear grandmasters comment, and when they're in different places looking at the same position, it was fascinating.
Well, also in that event, that Nepomniachtchi, he knocked out Carlsen, so that bodes well
Yeah.
for him
And
taking the second half of the candidates tournament.
and apparently Nepomniachtchi in Russian means one who easily forgets,
Is that right?
which is an odd name for a chess player, but you know.
All right. So let's see if I'm able to. Actually, I'm going to need the other one. Chess Kit is always a little bit of a challenge in terms of
Is ChessKid a part of chess.com?
yes.
Right.
Um, I don't know if I'm gonna mess up.
I'm going to take a 5-minute break and I'll be
You
back.
do that. All right. Let's see if we can do this here. Uh, Tournaments. Current. All right. And I'm hearing games of
Oh, there was one Smile Every Day. What a nice name.
Oh, did you see a username?
Username Smile Every Day. Have to root for that player.
that's a great name. 37 results, and then these are the game. And here we are, trying to find the games in progress. Can I find that? Let's see. Oh. I think this might be one of the games from the round here. One game left. This is, and let me fix the board here so we can view it. Whoops, I'm not even in the right spot. And
I can see half the board.
And here's the other dilemma, is that the board's a little bigger, and I'm fixing it now, but it's a little bigger than the chess.com universe board. So it requires a lot of space because you also can't see the players. Mess me. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to do this, only because I think I'm messing up Judith's, because she's also using the same account.
So, we can't have that. No.
So I'm going to stay in my lane here. And let me fix this up. Staying in my lane. And then we will get ready soon for the start of the next round. And
where was this game?
Well, look at that. Now, what's happening here is that some of the players, while they're waiting in between rounds, are playing, random games. So
okay,
this is what that represents.
So it doesn't count.
Does not count. Fortunately for black.
Yeah. If the checkmated in 5 moves, it's good it doesn't count.
Actually, that's what we should do. We should follow to see if... yeah, what is this? Yeah, this was the result of someone playing a game during the break. Because I follow the players to be able to follow their games, but because I follow them, it also means that if they play a random game, it'll pop up. So if you are a player in the chat and you're sitting around waiting for the next round to start, if you start a game right now, a random game, and you send me your username, I'll cover it right here so that you'll be on the broadcast. So the first player that starts a game and puts in the chat your username, Nick and I will take a look at it. So let's see who's there we go. Get some activity. First one, Sebi Meister. All right. I'm following you already, so once you start your game, it'll pop up, I think. But I just see Sebi Meister went offline.
Well, are they on ChessKit that they're going on?
No, chess.com. But there we go. Sebi Meister and Luke Wijaja, two of the top players, or two players in the top section, the 1600 plus section, are playing. It looks like game in 3 straight up, no increment, or is it 1 second? Yeah, it looks like it's game in 3, 1 second increment. Now, do you think this is a good idea, Nick, for players that are playing in the? Oh, it's 3-0, game in three, no increment. For players to play blitz like this before a round, or is it perfectly fine?
I personally wouldn't do it, but some people, they just can't stop.
There are worse addictions, I guess. And Luke with Josh, they're just gonna keep playing. So they're gonna be like our entertainment.
Hey, you could have played a queen down. You're actually getting 2 pieces and maybe even a rook for it, or even in exchange. But
There was a game in the arena last week of the Thompson event where Sriram was up, I think, 3 minor pieces for a queen, and those 3 minor pieces were swarming the the king of Josiah Stearman.
oh yes, after he sacrificed his queen, that was a terrific swindle.
Yeah.
So just never give up.
And players and parents, check out the broadcast, twitch.tv/mechanicschess. If you haven't done so already, go to the Golden Gate Bridge right there and click follow. Actually, Glenn shouldn't do that. He's not on yet. There we go. So we're watching a blitz game right now between 2 players who, in all likelihood, will play each other at some point in this tournament. So they're getting it out now. Want to thank the sponsor of this event, the AO Draghi Foundation. They provided support for Scholastic Chess and specifically for this tournament also. So big shout out to them for their support of the Mechanics Institute and for this annual event. I know one of the people that was part of offering that support is a Tuesday night marathon regular, so we want to thank him and George Nickel.
It was always great to see George Nickel come in the club. Such a nice man.
Yeah, it's just extremely nice, extremely generous, and just truly loves chess. Which is always exciting to see because we sense the enthusiasm also when people have it. There we go.
Oh, that move hurts.
Hey,
that should be the end.
And we have joining us Glenn Panner, National Tournament Director. Glenn Panner, how's it going?
It's going great.
We've incentivized kids by saying if you send us your username, we'll cover your game on the broadcast. And these 2 kids jumped on it, and so they're getting a little bit of their fame. So how's everything in Chicago? Are you in Chicago right now?
Yeah, I am. I'm at home. I'm enjoying a nice weekend. It's gorgeous outside, so it's one of those rare free weekends I get. So I'm making the most of it.
And speaking of making the most of it, you were telling me earlier you might be making some meats, smoking some meat. Tell us about that, because it seems like that's kind of a passionate hobby of yours.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I'll be smoking some ribs and some wings out back a little bit later this afternoon, and I'm looking forward to that, as is my family.
I was gonna say, is that just kind of like the family treasure, or do you have some kind of like bigger party going on?
No, just the family. It's
good.
There's a lot of similarities between the barbecue world and the chess world, believe it or not. In both cases, you'll find the true masters of those domains are generally always very, very generous with their time and advice and things like that. So I've had, just like in chess, I've gotten the benefit of being mentored by a lot of really, amazing barbecue people.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Pardon, Paul?
Oh, I said, who knew?
Yeah, it's a few years ago I saw an article about this guy in New Mexico, and I thought if there's anyone that kind of figured life out, this was the guy, because he put a smoker in the parking lot of a liquor store, along with a sun umbrella, and spent his entire days, just smoking meat, and had a chessboard out there. And he would play chess against people and sit in the sun and just, it just seemed like, man, there's a guy who had figured out how to live.
So it's not like the chess world where in the barbecue industry there's ratings and swindles. It's not like that.
Well, some might argue about the swindles, but more swine than swindles. And but it's very competitive, just like chess is.
And special thanks to Jeff Friedel, who's just rated us with his with followers after his stream. So thanks to Jeff Friedel for the raid. And
well, I just want to say that I've often seen Nick DeFermian smoking his opponents. So I think you're right. There is some kind of
different
analogy
kind of
there.
So everyone, if you're just tuning in, we're in between rounds of the 2021 San Francisco Scholastic Chess Championship, a completely free event that was sponsored by the A.O. Draghi Foundation. 3 sections of USCF rated chess, and then we have 4 sections by grade level of non-rated chess on ChessKid. We have over 300 participants in this, and we had over 100 entries just yesterday, which Judith and I were up super late processing all that. But amazing turnout. And speaking of which, Glenn, we're working together on a big event, April 10th through the 11th, the 2021 U.S. Junior Chess Congress, USCF National Championship event. I just put the link in the chat, and we'll be letting all the participants of this event and last week's Thompson Family Foundation event, because that's going to be a great event, a national championship event where the Mechanics Institute and Chess Weekend, your organization with Merritt Thorpe, we're looking forward to that. Tell us a little bit more about that. We're pretty excited.
That's going to be a great event, and in fact, for those of you who are just finding out about it, we did extend the early entry deadline, so you can get in at the early price through the 25th, which is great. We already have over 250 people signed up. I would think in the next 2 days or so we'll crack 300. This is a first open online tournament that's considered a nationals. That's going on. The other events put on even by US Chess didn't get the stamp of approval to be national events. So this is the very first one that they've tried in an open format for Scholastics, and we're very proud to be a part of that. I think it's going to be run very well, and lots of prizes. And one of the other things that makes this one unique is having not just school teams but club teams. So if you're a part of, for example, the Mechanics Club, you might go to school with, or you might not go to school with some of your friends from the club, but you can play together as a team on this, and that's one of the things that really makes it great.
And I know when I was coaching chess, it was so special to have the kids come together and represent the club, and we would do a lot of events. And even for this event, because we're offering prizes today for clubs and school teams, just a lot of the coaches and parents and the kids are really passionate about representing their clubs, playing for an individual award as well as a team award. So it's going to be really exciting, and we expect a big turnout. We're thinking we could see as many as 500-600 kids.
Wow!
That'd be fantastic. I think we're already very close to breaking the record for the event. I'll have to look and see what the record was for most players at the National Junior Chess Congress. But I think with this online format, we'll probably beat it.
And
That would be the largest chess tournament the Mechanics Institute ever held, for sure.
yeah, I mean that's the largest Scholastic we've ever been a part of, even in partnership with Chess Weekend. And that's one of the benefits of the online is that, I mean, even for this event, this San Francisco Scholastic, I mean, we have teams from all over the country. I mean, I was saying earlier, Arena Crush sent a team of kids to play this event. It's nice because you're able to get more participation, but then it's nice for these kids that generally are used to playing, similar opponents, similar kids in the area. They're playing, new styles and new kids and people you haven't played before, and it's a lot of fun in that respect to have an online event, especially a Scholastic event.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Where was the last live location for the U.S. Junior?
I believe it was in California.
it was Southern California, wasn't it? Was
Yeah,
that
did Joe Hanley run that
Joe
one in Southern
Hanley? I
California?
think it was Joe Hanley. Yeah, it's like, it was Southern California. I even think he did 1 year in San Jose, where he ran the Junior Congress. I was actually there because there were a couple of kids that I went to go see, so I saw that event. It was actually down the road from where I live, actually, when they held it. And I know another organization ran that event, but I think typically it's been like 300, maybe 400 kids at like the highest.
I think it's been the 200 to 250 range.
Yeah.
But that's one of the great things. And before, the event was largely California based, and now we have players from all over the country. I didn't bother to count up how many different states we have already. But,
and some countries, some foreign countries as well.
Well,
tried to get in. Yeah.
They tried to. We've actually had to put a stop to that. Just because of the U.S. chess rules, not for nationals, not any other reason. Otherwise, we'd be thrilled to take their money and have them play. But we do, have to maintain the rules for nationals.
And next round is at 11 a.m. Luke with Jaja is asking in the chat. 11 a.m. round 2 for the chess.com sections. The Chess Kids sections are rolling away still. It started at 10 a.m. and no round times. They just keep going. So, and we're looking to have, we're going to be there doing the commentary for the Junior Congress. So we're looking forward to that, trying to rally up some special guests too. So April 10th.
Is there a rating cap or anything?
No, we already have at least one player over 2,200 playing, so
it's a
I think it's going to be a strong event.
Shriram, who won the Thompson Foundation event last week, and the arena, he did register, so he'll be there, but he certainly won't be the only titled player. And these sections are by age level, which sort of makes it a slightly different event from a lot of others. So check out the chat. The link is in there, and like we said, the early bird registration will expire Thursday, this coming Thursday. So get in while it's at a slightly lower price for now. March 25th is the final day. Yep, 2008 King. That is the player that registered and will be playing in the U.S. Junior Chess Congress.
What's the age cap?
All the way to
18 and under
Okay.
is the top. But keep in mind that these ages are as of September 1, 2020. So we could have some, in theory, some 19-year-olds playing. Some young 19-year-olds.
that were 18 back on
So is there a new definition of what a junior chess player is? Because 21 used to be what I thought of. 21 and under used to be the junior category, but now it's 18.
There's a lot of confusion in those terms between, and a lot of people just use them interchangeably between junior chess, youth chess, and also scholastic chess.
Right.
And if you want to see the current entries, just click on the link that I have there. We have 261 players currently registered. We've been busy with Scholastic Chess with last week with the Thompson Family Foundation, and then this week with the San Francisco Scholastic, and then after today, full-on attention will go to the Junior Chess Congress, and we're really excited. And if anything is like what it was like for us last week, and especially yesterday, at least in the Bay Area, the players are used to registering in the last week, in the last few days, on insane
That's
level.
a great point. I mean, to see 261 players signed up, 3 weeks before the event. I mean, normally your biggest push is the week before.
Right.
So it's entirely possible we double this amount or even more.
Yeah, so it's the same for you guys over there, where for what it drives people like us, a little crazy because we have to process a lot of things last minute, and I know you know the feeling of that. But I think it's just in the blood of a chess parent and chess players that they sort of they don't even mind the extra $10 or whatever ends up being $10-$20. They like to see who's going to play and then wait to make that commitment the week before. But when you have organizers like Glenn Panner and Judith Starre, I mean, what's to think about? I mean, just sign up. You're going to have a fantastic experience. We're going to be covering the event live. You're going to have 3-time U.S. champion, telling you what you're doing and what you shouldn't be doing and what you should have done. It's going to be a fun weekend. So sign up. Click on that link. U.S. Junior Chess Congress, April 10th through the 11th, 2021. We're going to have a lot of fun and prizes. So
lots of prizes.
Lots of prizes to be had. And traditionally that event, when it's been live, titled players didn't really participate in those too much, just because the players that would register, the highest at the highest level, at least the ones that I've been a part of, would typically be around 1,800. So a lot of the 2,300 didn't want to risk playing that. Just because the competition wasn't there, but then you're risking everything by getting upset. But I think with online, I think that's sort of going to disappear. I think top players would be willing to throw in because they know other players are going to join. Or hoping that happens. And I know Sriram joined, and I expect a lot more strong players to join as well.
I think so too.
And tell us about the Scholastic Chess in Illinois, because you have fantastic numbers just for live chess.
Right. It's really been hurt by the schools being meeting remotely, and so many schools not having chess at all this year. So it'll be interesting to see how it bounces back. I think we have the largest group in high school in the country. Our high school tournament by itself, they play on 8 board teams, and for that you're talking about close to 1,200 players for those events. Our K through 8 championships are a little bit smaller. You're normally between 700 and 800, but still it's a very active area. We have a lot of great teachers in the area, and a lot of, like the Bay Area, a ton of very talented junior players.
Yeah.
And could I ask you, because often it was you would get a lot of young children starting to play chess, and the numbers would thin out. Like the high school nationals wouldn't have as many as the lower age group, but yet you've really managed to keep their interest there. Is there some secret how you're getting the teenagers to continue their love of chess?
I really think the 8 board teams is the trick to it. That it's so competitive with with a conference season that's similar to many leagues, and then Saturday tournaments, and of course culminating in state, which I suppose the closest thing you can describe to it with that many players would be like the U.S. Amateur Team East. That it's just such a social event that a lot of players stay playing high school chess just so they could spend the weekend, with their friends playing at state. I mean, you have a
Maybe-
lot of schools that have no chance whatsoever at finishing better than, let's say, 2 and 5, but it's the highlight of the year just to attend.
And Judith saying hey to you in the chat, and she's saying she can't wait for the madness of the Junior Congress. Befitting, she says that now while we're in the midst of March Madness with the basketball tournament. We're gonna have our own madness of the. We're gonna have April Madness at the U.S. Junior Chess Congress.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, how's your bracket doing so far?
Actually, I've been a little tuned out from the bracket, but I had a nice surprise as I was driving. I happened to be following the Oral Roberts Ohio State game to the ending, which was like a huge upset. It was a 15 seed beating a number 2 seed in basketball. So upsets are always fun to watch and be a part of. And for me, I was listening to it. So
Is that a giant upset in basketball? 15 beating 2?
Yeah, they say that's only had happened 9 other times in the history of the tournament.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of like the little guy, right, having their one shot against like a top tier and the little guy was versed in the fundamentals, and the big dog panicked a little bit in the end, and they lost it in overtime. And that's how it went. Are you a huge sports fan? I
am.
Good.
Very much so.
So you're following the action. So you got a full slate of games today you can pick and choose from.
But that's a great thing about combining it, the day with barbecue, because one of the great temptations is to keep on opening the smoker to see how things are coming along, which is something you don't want to do if you want to turn out good product. So the basketball is tremendous for keeping me distracted.
So Audie's in the chat saying so far his bracket is 100%. Audie, so you picked Oral Roberts to beat Ohio State. I don't know about that. And then there were other upsets too. I think Oregon State beat Tennessee. That was an upset. Anyway,
maybe he's got some inside information.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
He's out of Las Vegas. Or something.
His trick is he waits till after the games to fill it out.
Maybe he made them an offer they couldn't refuse.
Well, he says he did 5 brackets. So, yeah, but it's funny because like, how old are you? I think he's like 11. He's like filling out 5 brackets for March Madness. So they're getting their gaming in. And right now we're watching Pengy 3, who I think is William Fitzgerald. He's playing a game, so you're going to get a little bit of fame as you're entertaining us in between rounds. The pairings are up for the next round, so if you're looking for the pairings, they are up, and I'm going to put it in the chat here. What am I doing here? There we go. So go to the Google Sheet if you have not done so already. The pairings are up, and the games will start in 12 minutes sharp. 12 minutes sharp. Hey, so we're partnering together with you, and we're working with you and Merritt Thorpe. Tell us a little bit how that came along. Like, how did the partnership come together, and were you guys both just working in Illinois chess and?
Well, Merritt is, kind of follows the path of quite a few TDs we have, in that she started off as just being a chess parent. I shouldn't say just being a chess parent, because that's...
Sounds like someone we know also started off that way.
Yeah, I'll say that, that's probably the most stressful job in chess, is being a chess parent. So it's nothing to take lightly. And she started running a club in the north suburb of Evanston. Evanston is where Northwestern University is located, just north of Chicago. And from doing that, she took an interest in directing. And she's a little bit of a tech nerd, and she picked up on it really, really fast. She I don't know, as far as adults go, she's probably moved up the TD ranks among the fastest to go from just a beginning club TD all the way to a national tournament director.
Yeah.
She's great judgment, very solid, director, and has even gotten the chance to, I think, be the backroom chief before at U.S. Opens and things like that. So, great tournament director. Her skill sets complement mine very, very well, and we get along great. So we started. I started hiring her for some of the events I did around Chicago, and we just worked very well together.
And the rest is history. Yeah, a lot of it sounds.
I mean, that's one of my favorite things in terms of organizing and directing is collaborating with other talented groups. That's one of the reasons why we're so excited to work with mechanics, and that's how good tournament directors get better is by working with other really good tournament directors, and we all have our tricks, and that's how we learn additional ones.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure and an honor to partner with you guys. I know you've worked with Judith before on other stuff, but it's actually difficult, especially in the chess world, especially from the organizing part, to find partners where you're sort of on the same page and see things the same way. It's a challenge, and we definitely feel like we have that with you. So it's been a lot of fun, and we're sort of looking forward to this event. It's probably one of the first times, it might be the first time where we've actually partnered with another chess organization to do an event collaboratively, actually. So very cool. Yeah, we're excited about this one, and whatever else comes up in the future. The time is right to work together and bring chess to the masses.
Yeah, and I think so far, as evidenced by the great turnout that we have signed up, that's working out. And it's interesting what you said. So many chess players in general, and it same goes true with organizers and directors, can be so dogmatic, so fixed in their views that their idea is the right idea, that not everyone can collaborate. And I think this has really been fruitful. It's been very educational, and most of all, it's been a lot of fun working with you and Judith.
And in terms of like the chemistry, because when you were explaining how you and Merritt worked, I mean, Judith and I are the same way. I mean, she has a definite skill set in certain things. It complements me a lot, and she has a lot of skills that I don't have. I don't think I have. We're able to kind of complement each other that way. It is tough to sort of find that sweet spot where the relationship is, and where you have the trust, where even in the disagreements and the difficulty, you're still a team, you're still on the same page, everything will be fine. And at the end of the day, we're just looking to make good things happen, and that's sort of our approach. And I definitely feel that's what we've done. I mean, we've had meetings about the Junior Congress and what we're going to do, and talk issues. What are we going to do? Let's tell me what you think, and it's just a great way to work, as opposed to being really fixed on one thing and not letting it go. So yeah, it's tough. We've had
That's something. That's a question I get a lot from aspiring tournament directors and organizers: is how do I learn how to do this? How do I get better? And the simple answer is work with people who are good. And that it doesn't change. As experienced as Merritt is, as I am, that still doesn't change. You want to work with talented people that know what they're doing and might not always agree with your way of doing things. That's how you expand.
And that's kind of like the essential part of the team, because like any teams, you have to have disagreement, right? I mean, it's like what great team is where everyone's always on the same page, right? And
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Merritt, is tremendous because, in her previous life, she was a graphic designer. And one of the things I always had difficulty with was putting together flyers that looked decent or web pages that looked decent. And she loves doing that stuff. For me, it was an absolute chore. And, by the same token, I enjoy, when we're face to face, interacting with the hotels, negotiating, on site, talking with the players and being social. Whereas Merrick prefers to do the backroom things, not because she's not social, but it's hard. It's really hard to focus on what you're doing on the computer and talk to people at the same time. So just, as I said, our skills complement each other so well that we both get to do the parts of the job that we really enjoy.
It's like you're working with your own personality comfort zone too, right? If those are the skills that she loves to kind of immerse herself in the design and the technical, and that's what's going to make you feel good, and you kind of want to fix on that, right, as much as you can. So 5 minutes.
Exactly right.
5 minutes before the start of the next round, pairings are up. Hopefully,
who's the highest rated player in this tournament?
Highest rated player for this tournament in the 1600 plus is 1782. 1782 is the highest rated player. And we even had some upsets, like in the first round, even in the top section. So the top seed won. That was Roger Shih. But on board 2, 1655, Shravan Sriram, he lost to Emilio Rodriguez, who's rated 1446. And then Vedant Talwalkar, he won at 1644 against 1442. But then Adrian Cheng, 1439, he beat 1589, Ethan Sao. And then we had the upset of Sebi Suarez at 1343. He beat Aiden Leong, 1485. But Sebi Suarez is 1343 going on 2000. He has just rocketed up in terms of his progress. He started really playing and developing right before the lockdown. He has women grandmaster Carla Heredia as a coach. He's been playing at the mechanics nonstop. So his over the board ratings, at 1343 is his online regular rating. His over the board rating is something like 900, and he's easily 1800 strength.
It's going to be really interesting to see what kind of adjustments US Chess has to make once we go back to playing over the board. There's going to be so many ratings that are 500, 600 points, even more than that, out of date, and it has the potential to create some problems.
And that's going to be a challenge because, how do they do that? Because not everyone has transitioned to online regular rated play, right? So how do you account for the ones that have had volume?
Why do they have to do anything, though? I mean, isn't the natural course of things is that things are just going to level out eventually after, say, another year of over-the-board play or
that's true
6
too.
months? I mean, what could they do,
For example, one of the things, Paul, that we've considered doing is just like for online events, we use the higher of the over-the-board or online rating. We could continue to do those for over-the-board events, use the higher of the over-the-board or online rating.
The online ratings are not USCF ratings, right?
Sure they are. I mean,
they are.
US
We're not
Chess
talking about
online.
chess.com.
No.
Okay.
We're not talking about chess.com or Lee Chess or
Okay.
ICC. But, the higher of the US Chess online versus
That makes sense. That makes total sense. Yeah, I was thinking chess.com. I never see the online ratings for some reason.
You're right. I mean, one possible solution is just to let it play out, and people are only going to get so many bites of the apple until their rating catches up. But in the case where you have, someone who has a 1100, US chess rating, and then post-pandemic, their online rating could be up to 17, 1800. The whole purpose of having like class tournaments and class prizes is so you're competing against people of like abilities.
Right.
And when you have someone that's 600, 700 points higher playing in that class section, you're kind of defeating that. So while you're right, okay, they might gain 200 points or 300 points or 100 points from that tournament, and they're only going to be able to do that so many times until their strength catches up. It still kind of ruins the event for others who are looking to play similar players.
Right. Another thing that strikes me is there are actually going to be there. I mean, I've already encountered this in some of the classes where new people are coming in and taking classes. You're going to have a whole bunch of people that have never played an over-the-board tournament.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to, how are they going to transition? It's like, it's bizarre to think that some people have only played online chess. And to me, that's really amazing.
And
it's interesting. I've started taking a look at hosting over-the-board tournaments. I'm not going to be doing that until at least the fall and maybe later than that. But if you want to look at sites, it's good to look at least 6 months in advance. And I was looking at a site because some people in Louisville, Kentucky, wanted to have a tournament. So they contacted me and said, hey, can you help us with this? And talking with their Convention and Visitors Bureau, they're very excited about it because, especially there, Queen's Gambit took place in Kentucky, and so they said they're experiencing so many people who are just interested in playing and seeing what a live chess tournament's about. That could be, a great success, and we could see huge numbers of unrated players.
Yes, this is our chance. It's like the Fisher boom. Let's, get all these, the pandemic, let's get it over with and get all these people into the halls. There's a sense among these players that I think that are joining for the first time that online chess is kind of weird in a way, and that they want to play over the board.
Although, is it that much different from when we had the big World Series of Poker boom, that you had entire generations of players who had only played online poker, and when they go to Vegas or something, it's the first time that they've actually played
Right.
online
Right.
or in person. Now, to give you an idea of what you're saying, in terms of the boom, if you take a look at our registration for the Junior Chess Congress, we have 262 people signed up. 98 of them, so more than a third of them, are unrated, which is just a crazy high amount.
How about girls? How many of them are girls?
That I haven't tried counting up. But it wouldn't surprise me if that's higher as well.
Well, I mean, I think it seems that there's a significantly higher proportion of girls playing now after the Queen's Gambit, but I'm not sure. I mean, it would be interesting to take a look at that statistic as well, I think.
And we have quite a few playing even in this event.
Yes.
And round 2 is underway in the chess.com sections, and starting with board 1 in the 1600 plus. Here it is, Roger Shih playing white, and he is facing off against Emilio Rodriguez, Jorian 117.
Nick, is there a Chicago variation of some chess opening anywhere?
No, I don't know of any. Glenn, have you heard of that?
No, I don't think there is any
one.
Chicago variations.
In bridge, there's a very popular bridge variation called Chicago.
I think the closest we have to any type of Chicago variation is we have a very, very strong local player that actually played in, I want to say, some of the U.S. championships in the early 70s, Nick might know who I'm talking about. Andrew Karklands.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
And Karklands actually has a couple of variations, named after himself. And it's interesting the amount of he just recently, like in the last 10 years, got a computer. And Bill Brock from our area decided to teach him about ChessBase. And he had notebook upon notebook of his home prep that he was going to dump in there. And he was a kid in a candy store when he just couldn't believe the tools that we take for granted, that were now available to him. But Andrew is an exceptionally strong player. I really think that he would have been at least an international master had he had the same opportunities for FIDE events, for norm events that we see these days.
I thought he was an international master, but I guess maybe.
No, he maxed it as a FIDE master, and he had been well over 2,400 U.S. chess, in his younger days.
Oh, back in those days, that was easily top 20.
So who's the top ranked player in Chicago now? Like, there must be some emigres.
Yeah, we have several grandmasters that live in the area. Yuri Schulman, of course, is up there. Boris Avruk is living in Chicago. He's another one that's up there. It wouldn't surprise me if Yaro Zherabuk, who lives in Chicago, was the highest rated active player at this point.
Huh. He's living over there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
His fiance is from Chicago, so
that'll do it. Yeah.
He wanted to go home, and they moved into the city. Last summer we held an outdoor blitz tournament, with social distancing and everything, and it happened to just be a block away from his apartment. So here you have all these 1600s who are playing, and Yaro comes walking down, and hey, I want to enter. So it was funny. Just kind of funny to see.
And here we have Sanjeev Anand, Chess P1234. He's playing Shravan Sriram. This is out of a French defense. What do you think of this position?
I advise Black not to castle right now.
Exactly. This is where castling would be bad.
Yeah, I don't think White should have opened up the queen side like that. Now that Black bishop that's usually really bad in a French has become really good.
Yeah, a strange move. I agree. Taking on c4. One thing. Oh, and Black takes back with the pawn for some reason. Very odd. It's funny how activity is for its own sake is not always a good idea, and young chess players have to learn that they sometimes doing nothing or next to nothing is the right thing to do.
Kids love action.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think even in my own development, I think I hurt myself because I always felt I needed to have initiative always, and sort of discounting the value of keeping things at bay.
Or if pieces can be exchanged, then I must exchange them, or something like that. I see that over and over and over again.
And Judith says all games are going, and we're gonna flip to this game and take a look just because of the username so darn good. We're gonna take a look at Ugandan Knuckles 7.
Ugandan Knuckles 7. Well,
who we've been big fans of since last week at the Thompson event. Playing Manit 99.
Ugandan has given a pawn.
Yeah, he's lost a pawn.
That's a little pawn for a real brawler.
Ugandan Knuckles.
Anybody whose name is Knuckles has got my respect.
And taking a look at this game, this is Jocelyn Wren playing black against Pillow Burger.
So we're in round 2.
Round 2 of 5. And in all likelihood, we may have ties at the top when it's all said and done, and we will use tie breaks to determine the place.
Well, I mean, Jossie 107 is up a piece against Pillow Burger. So
I expected better from Pillowbird.
With a name like that, huh?
Yes.
But Jocelyn's tough. She's tough, though. And look at this. A match of two mechanics players, Sebi Suarez and Yali Danzig-Perlman, duking it out. Actually, am I right that these are the two players that were playing each other blitz in between rounds?
And now they play again.
Yeah, they're playing a lot slower now. They're playing a lot slower now.
Is that right? Were these the players?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that. No, it was Luke with Jaja. It was Luke with Jaja.
It wasn't Noidon.
Yeah. It wasn't Noidon, yeah.
This is just a good game. I mean, they're both getting their pieces out. Nobody's lost anything.
I want to ask Nick a question that's just bugged me forever. You play the Nahdorf variation. So when you were at home studying to play the Nahdorf variation, did you set the board up from the black side or from the white side?
Oh, always the black side, yeah.
Ah, interesting. I had this weird habit. I think I'm not sure if it's unique to me, of always setting the position up from the white side, and no matter what, if I was studying an opening from black, I would. Then when it came time to play the game and I was playing the black side of something, I was always mildly surprised. You know,
you had to see it from your opponent's perspective when you're studying an opening?
It didn't matter. If I was studying an opening or a chess game, I was always looking at it from the white side. It just never, you know.
And you're not talking about
So Nick has revealed a great grandmaster secret to me right now, and I'm going to go hit the books right now.
Study harder. Study harder. And V. Harish.
I always figured that the best way to study was from the side of the board. Anyone can tell you that. Kibitzers are the first ones to see the best moves right away, right?
That's true. That's very wise.
So the U.S. Open is that already been being planned as a live event?
A decision, as far as I know, decision hasn't been made, and they probably wouldn't do it till the last possible moment. Have you heard anything, Glenn?
Yeah, they're going ahead with plans. Every intention is to have it live in person. I think mostly because nobody wants to try and do the governance part of the meetings online. But of course, it all depends on how the Philadelphia area, it's in Cherry Hill. It's in New Jersey, right?
Yep.
How New Jersey opens up, and so if it looks like it's going to open. That could really, I think it'll be well attended. Right now, there isn't much on the way of things that are opening up. I mean, when you look at the major summer type tournaments, and I believe that chances are, since we're not even 50% here in Illinois yet, Chicago Open probably won't happen. I'm not trying to speak for CCA, but here we are, roughly, just over 60 days before it happens. And with the state not allowing, that type of gathering, I can't imagine Chicago Open would happen in person. World Open, I hear, is somewhat in doubt. We'll see if that happens. The National Open in Las Vegas is for sure happening. And that's going to be really interesting and telling to see what kind of a draw that gets this year. I think it's going to draw well because we have a lot of pent up demand of players who want to go
Yeah,
out
for
and play.
sure. That's for sure.
If as many people are vaccinated by June as the projections say, I think it's going to be it'll really be a great event.
That's 2.5 months from now.
Yeah.
And if it's in Cherry Hill, I'll definitely be there. And pretty sure Judith will be there as well. So we look forward to that. And here we have Comfy Queso. Comfy Queso playing Pure Pocket. This is Samuel Brown is Comfy Queso against Aditi Derukar. And what do you think of this?
I mean, white's up pawn, so should be good for white.
Well, pawn is a pawn.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this game here. Talk about whoops. What did I do here? Let's see. Okay, there we go. Back to this game. There we go. That's a lot of action going on. CCat 987 against D Sofer.
Bishop takes d6, huh? Whew.
This is Christian Catlin against Daniel Sulfur.
So if rook e6, bishop takes c7, but then queen d4?
And then queen takes c6 check.
Oh, yeah.
King takes c7. Queen takes g6, and everything's equal. Black is better.
Yeah, that's a strange variation.
And Sean Lee is in the chat saying, I feel like I should have played in the rated section. You definitely should have played in the rated section because you're like a 800, 900 rated player. So next year, you got to do that rated section.
Wow, bishop f7.
Ooh, yeah, it's a
ratcheting up the tension.
See, the one thing I love about Paul,
I think we're going to see a lot of things get exchanged off here.
Everything's going to get traded.
I'm always trying to find a new word to describe, a series of words to describe a chess game.
No, I mean, you got to make it like King Kong versus Godzilla. You have to make it sound like,
I like that one, King Kong.
No, but you got to build it up.
I'm going to put that one in my repertoire of cheap things to say.
You gotta make it feel like a steel cage match from back in the day. And
well, I'll tell you that was what hooked me about chess, was the stories behind it. I mean, it's. I'm not so much interested in just the abstract, moves. I like all the paraphernalia that goes with chess, the stories and the names of everything, and I think that's just, for me, it's a huge part of the charm of the game, and of course the people
and the history, right? The people together with the stories.
Yeah.
And back to this game out of the French, the Tarash.
Yeah,
I agree, Paul. The storytelling is outstanding, and to me is the most interesting part of chess.
And they get a lot of that in the Chess Cafe on Mondays. You get people telling good stories.
Yeah, the Chess Cafe is just fantastic. Actually, I want to talk to you about an idea I have, Abel, about the Chess Cafe.
Uh-oh. Paul and ideas. Yeah, I'll put the link. So if you want to talk with Grandmaster Nick DeFermian and FIDE Master Paul Whitehead and International
Master Elliot Winslow and other people.
Alexi Root. She goes to the chess cafe every now and then. The link is right there, and
He's there every time.
and it's not just going over chess games. They'll tell stories. They may go over games. It's whatever the river takes you in the chess
And
cafe. Salmatera from
he's there every week
from
now.
Marshall
Yeah,
Chess
from the
Club.
Marshall Club.
And we were talking
We
about
start with
Yeah, go-
readings from one of our old-time club members who
Yeah, we
some
usually
philosophically
start.
interesting chess things from the classics of Lasker, Yekin.
and I know
Or
we had
Einstein.
Einstein the Rabbit. And one of the things we talked about earlier, which I'm interested to get Glenn's perspective on it, is we sort of see that knowledge of chess history doesn't seem to carry importance with a lot of Scholastic players now. We've kind of noticed. I'm wondering, why is that? Is that something that's sort of natural that these players will get an appreciation for later? Or does that indicate something that just in terms of how kids learn chess, especially with computers, you sort of gone away from incorporating the history of the game along with the development? Why do you think that is? That a lot of kids especially don't seem to, not through any fault of their own that's negative, but like they just don't carry that same significance with their learning.
I think the way people are taught is much different than even 10 years ago. And you take a look at some of the teachers that are really outstanding at teaching about the history. Jay Stallings is a great example, for one. He tells a lot of anecdotes, a lot of stories about the games and players, and when you do that, and those young players get to feel like they're a little bit invested or they know something about the players, they want to study those players' games a little bit more. And so much of, especially during the pandemic, the emphasis isn't on that type of storytelling, which is a big part of teaching. It's been more, okay, here's, do a couple hundred puzzles per day and, go on a tactics trainer and, go on Chessable. All those are wonderful tools, but they're not the same in terms of telling the stories, the histories of chess.
And
Oh, look at this. Ugandan Knuckles and Man at 99 are in a king and pawn ending, Nick.
Oh, this is a great battle. What's going on here?
and it's fun to see kids navigate through this, right? Because will the draw
Knuckles somehow got his pawn back.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
right.
Well observed. Well observed. I forgot all about that.
So he makes a draw with like A4, king to D6, king to E4, and take the opposition, king E6. But Ugandan Knuckles could screw this up.
Well,
He doesn't. He makes the move.
and it's
Does White have a triangulation here?
it's always
No.
fun to see whether these kids have the fundamentals down, right?
Oh, I've seen some. I've seen both. We've seen both ends of the spectrum. We've seen incredibly great technique, and we've seen just horrible blunders and and that's in my games. So.
We're just talking Paul's. Oof! Look at this. This game here is in the 1600 plus. This is Luke with Jaja.
Oh, this is exciting.
No, actually, this is the under 1600. Suhas Indukuri playing white against Luke with Jaja.
So black's winning the exchange. Oh no, white doesn't have to take on e4, I suppose.
Oh, you gotta like that brave move.
I hear someone, I don't know who it is, someone's offering a draw like repeatedly. Let's check in on the Sebi Meister. This game actually is, I mean, we're only on move 14. Everyone's taking their time.
Hence,
Keeping it tense. Because you know these players love to play, crazy bullet and blitz, but it's nice to see them with some restraint.
White's got a great game here, I think.
Yeah, he's got all the pieces focused on the center, and stuff could happen. Something like if that knight goes to e7, then white goes knight takes f7, hitting the queen, king takes, queen takes e6 check, and brutal.
So maybe knight to b4 would be the right move.
Yes. Control that d5 square.
So back in Nick and my day, there were, during the chess tournament, the tournament organizers were always plagued by these prima donna grandmasters and chess masters that would, come up to the organizers while they were making the pairings and say, I'm supposed to be white, I'm supposed to be black, and is this still, with the advent of computers, is that kind of solve the issue for organizers? They can just point to the silicon
the god, the silicon god.
It's made it easier to handle in some ways. That's for sure. I feel bad for but there's an advantage to have come up using pairing cards and understanding the methodology of pairing, because quite often you'll get a grandmaster who comes up and says, "Hey, why am I the one getting two blacks in a row here?" Or, why did I get this player instead of that? And so many of the tournament directors who just depend on the computer get that deer in headlights look, and they're like, well, it's what the computer says. And to me, I think that's just a terrible answer.
Yeah.
I want to be able to tell that player, because I think the player has the right to know, hey, why did I get this pairing instead of that? So I have no problem looking at a pairing and saying, well, while the computer made the pairings, I agree with it. This player couldn't get a third black in a row, so even though you're due white here, that's why you're getting a second black. When you're able to do that, I think players have a lot more respect for you, have a lot more confidence in you as a tournament director, because you're not just depending on this black box telling what the pairings are.
And Swiss's pairing system has like a cool function where it shows like the pairing logic, where it sort of points you in the right direction of, if there's something different than what's expected, it sort of shows you where that might be.
Isn't it true though that the human can mess with the Swiss's algorithm to change that?
Yes and no.
I see.
So the answer when it's no is if Swissys is in FIDE pairing mode.
I see.
You're not allowed to. However, if it's just US chess, yes, you can. And to be honest, I still think a good human TD can outpair a computer any day of the week.
Wow.
So I would say probably once out of every 4 or 5 tournaments I direct, I'll notice a pairing, especially on the top boards, because I'm not paying all that close attention to the massive pairing score group at 2 points out of 5 and trying to calculate that all out. But I'll look at it and say, well, hey, this is a much better set of pairings than what the computers come out with. And so I will, on occasion, make that adjustment.
It's interesting.
In FIDE, the pairings are deterministic.
Yeah.
So there's only one right set of only one correct set, and doesn't necessarily mean they're better pairings than U.S. chess. It just means that they're more definitive.
But the human can as long as you switch it to USCF mode, you can basically override, and it's the equivalent of pulling the plug on the HAL 9000 in 2001.
Boy, Walter Brown even withdrew from international. Players have even withdrawn from tournaments because of arguments with TDs. Or was it Larry Evans? One of those players withdrew from a Lone Pine tournament, I think.
Walter Brown was notoriously difficult on tournament directors.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
And on his and on the people that he played chess with. Look at that, mate on the board.
Look at that. That's a nice checkmate. Wow, look at this game right here. This is the same game. The Tarash French.
Oh, that king has traveled.
Wow.
It's like oh, there we go.
Well, White has done very well for themselves here.
Yeah, something
It's turning into
something didn't go right.
An extra rook in piece and 3 pawns.
There's a little more competitive game here.
Speaking of chess history, I've encountered 2 unusual things in these in 2 of Lasker's matches. First of all, Steinitz played on a rook down in a game against Lasker for many, many moves. And then in another World Championship match, Marshall did the same thing against Lasker and played on for 20 moves, a piece down in an endgame, or even more, 25 pieces, 25 moves. And so that got me thinking, why were they doing that? And part of it is frustration with I think the accuracy of Lasker's play, and it's hilarious about Marshall not even mentioning in his autobiography that he played a world championship match. Is incredible. I mean, it should be the highlight of any chess player's career, but Marshall just was so smashed by Lasker.
It's like if you played in a Super Bowl and lost by 50 points, are you going to be proud that you played in that Super Bowl?
Yeah, but it's kind of funny.
It's like you'll say, "Yeah, we had a good year. We made it to the Super Bowl."
But I would imagine it would be the highlight of most chess players' careers to play a match, even if you got drubbed, which he did.
And what is this?
Now, is the times correct? They're down to just 20 seconds?
That cannot be right. This has to be like a random blitz game from people that finished their game already.
Okay.
Thanks for catching that. Like, time flies when you're having fun, but are we having that much fun? We just lost everything. And Sean is in the chat. If Kansas loses against East Washington, all his brackets are destroyed. So we'll be following the Kansas East Washington game. to see how Sean Lee's brackets are.
But that's Audi, isn't it? Not Sean Lee.
I think it's all in the same. Because Audi is not his real name. I think that's his username. Sean Lee's his real name, and then his Twitch handle's different from all of those.
Okay.
So
That's another thing that about this online chess that Glenn, what do you think about this? Everybody's got an alias or another username. They can get booted out from
okay.
a tournament for cheating,
My
and
bad.
then maybe join with a different email and a different username. And how do they spot all that? How can this work?
Well, for us, it's been nice on two fronts because we're focused on rated chess, right? When people have joined our club, we make them go through a process
Yes.
where people ask to join, they ask to join every day. Every day there's a request to join the mechanics club. I said, great. I copy paste the message where basically says, I'm going to decline your request now, but fill out the Google form with your name and email, basic info, and then we'll approve you the second time around. That alone weeds out people that, are just looking to just join a club and just, we really don't want to deal with that where we just have like random people just playing and we don't really know who they are or at least know their USCF ID. That's just a preference that we have. But like in our tournaments, even when we have our free tournaments, we're generally not having widespread issues of like fair play and things like that. Where there are other clubs out there where they can boast, 900, 1,300 members. But I mean, if you look at the chat that's going on in those clubs, it's just people randomly, hey, follow me and do this, and
They don't know their members.
they don't know their members, and just people. There's no community, there's no relationship, right? And
Right.
I like to think that a lot of members like our club for that reason because there is community, there's relationship.
I mean, we've noticed this over and over and over again, Glenn, that it's even though we're playing online, there are times when I'm chatting here with Abel and Nick and people, I feel like I'm back in the chess club. It's really remarkable what's occurred with the Mechanics Institute.
And it's fun to
And
see.
that's something you really don't see everywhere in terms of online chess. That's the social part of the game that's been lost. It's great that Mechanics has been able to preserve that.
Incredible.
And, it's interesting you say that, especially when you're talking about like online and social media, where a lot of times there's actually a disconnect, even when you would think that it promotes or enhances communication. Yeah, but and I think it all goes back to just sort of respecting the community and is it kind of a pain that we make people fill out a Google form to join the club? I mean, I've had people respond to me after I decline and say fill out the Google form. They say, oh, I didn't know it was gonna be this much trouble, I'm not gonna do it. I'm like, fine. I mean, it's right. Well, what are you looking to do then, right? Just join and what? Just play random.
Right.
It's like, but no.
Yeah, I mean, Abel, I think, is asking for a little bit more. You're become a member, you have to pay some dues. In a sense, a commitment.
Yeah, put some buy-in in there, right? And just
And the Mechanics Institute is that kind of traditionally is that kind of place as well. So
look at this position here. What do
It
you
was
guys think?
looking good for black and then suddenly gave up 2 pawns. Oh, but this game.
oh, White's lost the pin knight.
Is there any way out with pawn to d6? The king comes to Uh, F8 to stop it. Any
King.
tricks?
King D5 or something.
King D5, pawn takes F4. Oh, maybe, yes. And bishop C5 threatening D7 check.
Then
It's,
King E8. Then
and
King
King
C6.
C6. That
Wow.
pawn is causing trouble.
Wow. Incredible. Resourceful.
And then the rook pins the pawn. King to C7. Maybe black will have to give up the rook for that D pawn to get a draw.
That's an amazing variation here. The power of the passed pawn.
I was almost going to say, would it be worth it to just take the knight, let it push, take the bishop, and then you have your rook and 3 pawns and queen, but the king is disconnected. That would be the problem in that, right? You'd be
That would be a draw, probably, for sure, for black.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Pawn takes F4, bishop to C5. You have rook to G5, check, king C6. Rook takes bishop on C5.
And that ends it.
Isn't black just winning this easily?
Yes.
I mean, black even has lines where he plays rook takes f4.
Oh no, rook takes F4, bishop takes F4, pawn takes F4, king to C6, and white wins the game. D pawn queens.
Wow.
So there are tricks here. Pawn takes is the right move.
So I'm asking Warriors 76, and I'm also asking you, Abel. He says his opponent still hasn't moved for the first move, and he has 7 minutes. So my question is, if he's being observed by a camera or 2 cameras, how is he able to join in the chat with us?
He's not playing a section number 1 that's monitoring because he's playing in the chess kid section.
Ah, that's it. Okay.
So that's...
Which audio you should have played in the rated section.
You should have.
You
You should have known better. Especially with the rating like yours. Audi, I think he's in the chess kid section. Audi.
I think bishop B6 would have drawn the game, but now there's rook G5
Oh, wow.
check.
Bishop B6. What a great move. Controlling the queening square.
Judith says, I can't help you. The chess kid.
Is there a Chicago chess club?
That's an interesting question. Not a brick and mortar one. That's something that a lot of people would like to see. The problem is space in downtown Chicago is so expensive that it's just not affordable. So most of the chess clubs have been around the suburbs where it's not hard to get space from park districts and things like that. There's a lot of meetup groups that meet up at like Starbucks and at different Starbucks locations. Or there's a tremendous club that in the Lincoln Square area of Chicago that there's a brewery that let people meet there. So
nice.
It's very lively gaming, and they welcome kids too.
Nice.
But it's a great place to play games.
Yeah.
Go ahead. McDonald's across the country. McDonald's has been and Burger King have been places where people have met and played chess. It's really it's interesting.
Yeah, there's there's a McDonald's on the south side of Chicago, where that probably has the most blitz chess of anywhere that you'll find played in Chicago. But you're absolutely right. I mean, I travel a fair amount for my job. And when I go to a new town that I haven't been to before, I look up to see what chess clubs are in the area, just because it's a nice way to spend the evening, better than just sitting in your hotel room the entire evening,
Right.
and you wind up meeting people. And in my travels, you're right. There's a lot of places where, at a Wendy's or a Burger King or a McDonald's, that's where they meet.
It's amazing. It's unusual that also churches have been traditionally where clubs
Yeah.
will meet on a regular basis in small towns,
Generous with the space. Yeah.
church basements and stuff like that.
Hey Glenn, have you ever had it where you go to a chess club where you go visiting and they say, "Hey, that's Glenn Panner." Hasn't happened yet.
It's happened once or twice where they might not have recognized me, but they ask my name and we start talking like, "Hey, you wouldn't be Glenn Panner, would you?"
Yeah, yeah.
I had kind of an interesting experience like that many years ago, where there was a small chess club meeting in a library, about 20 minutes away from my house. And normally the players there aren't US chess rated, they're not very strong, but I was just dropping by to see, and I was playing someone there, and we were playing blitz, and he was a good player. The games weren't easy, and I asked, "Oh, are you rated?" "Yeah, 19." He say is 1900, and I'm about 2100. So it was kind of strange to see someone else that strong in an area like that. And we started just talking, and it was Mikhail Korenman. He had just moved to the area, and this was like just a couple of years after he had run the Karpov school in Lindsborg, Kansas, and had Karpov matching up with Susan Polgar out there. So it was just so strange and random where two of us happened to walk into this little library club on the same night.
Very, very cool. This is a crazy position right here. What do you think?
Sebi was winning, and now he's lost. Those 4 passed pawns.
Now White's got 17 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, that's something. Sebi is going to turn out to be the great swindler of the Mechanics Institute. He's going to take Winslow's place. Oh, this is looking tough.
He swindled himself.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
I mean, 17 seconds, but that D pawn is just marching.
Yeah.
Poor Sebi.
Well, Sebi's used to staying up late and playing in chess tournaments late or taking classes late. So this is an early tournament for him. He's probably used to sleeping in. And
no big deal for him.
No good way to stop that D pawn.
Doesn't look like it.
Now, the thing to keep an eye on is White's time, but it looks like White is.
White's being very cruel too. He's not even allowing Rook D3 and Rook takes D7.
Well, I think if
tricky. Maybe he'll push the D pawn now and Rook D1 check. No, didn't fall for it.
even if he would have been able to get the rook to D1 or D3,
it wouldn't help.
After bishop C5, the B pawn was a runner then too.
4 connected passed pawns are usually sufficient.
That's it. This will be it soon.
E7, and call it a game.
Yeah. So let's go to this game. Bellicast and Smart Goldfish. And yep.
Oh, that looks terrible. All those black pieces forming over.
Yeah, it's almost like a wall of black pieces, like surrounding. Lot of games are ending.
Yeah, White's in a lot of trouble here, of course, being down 5 pawns, but
Yeah, rook d2 will cost piece, knight f3, queen f3.
ooh, yeah.
Checking in on another game going on here. Chico 1314 against Ender Dragon EX. This is Sayan Majumder against Odin Arnson.
Oh, I love this. I mean, black's ahead material, but white's trying to checkmate him.
Is the queen too far cut off to be a part of this, though?
White's queen is in a great spot for all kinds of geometrical chances.
Oh, is okay. So king h4, is that
King-
mate?
King G2? Oh, I would
Ah,
play.
king g2 would have been good. So
What
here,
you played Queen E7. Queen E7.
And Queen F6.
Oh, that's
or
cute.
or Queen
He's got to go
H6.
King F4 here, right? Because
he-
otherwise he gets mated with Queen H6 and then Queen H2. If he
but
takes a
king
pawn.
f4 is a good move.
I think it's forced.
Now, if king f2 threatening, that's have to take that pawn.
Oh my god, it's like scary.
Knight.
I don't
Then
know that he had to take the pawn. I think he could have gotten really sneaky and played King G3 there and hidden behind White's pawn wall.
Well, now he's threatening he
Oh,
can
yeah,
go rook
white-
what a move,
g4 at some
91.
point.
it's not good. White's busted here.
Why, yeah, rook g4, it's over. He was impatient because he only had 8 seconds.
And Black's doing a good thing thinking about it because Black's got the time.
Yes, this is where you don't want to be hasty and fall into some horrible trap.
Oh yeah, like rook g4, king h2. White's got one threat, queen e3, checkmate. You have to avoid it.
Nice patience on the part of Odin Arnson.
You know, I'm not so sure that chess players actually set traps, but traps arise out of positions rather than chess players setting traps. Whenever you hear, oh, you know, Black cleverly is setting a trap, you know, I don't think that that's really what's going on.
But
I
it
think
sounds cool to say that.
it sounds cool, and but if you really look at chess positions, I think that the positions just arise out of out of the game. The traps arise out of the positions more than they are being set by somebody, you know, and that's so there's a kind of a misconception that you can set traps. I mean, in a sense you can, but more likely they're just arising out of the positions. I've always been confused by that, a little bit confused by that, among many other things. That's one of the things I've been confused about.
And here's a game between Jashith Karthi playing white, Jasfork against Suyuan Gui playing black. Jashith doing a lot of events with mechanics and a lot of your classes, Paul.
Who's that?
Jashith.
Yeah.
We got opposite colored bishops, but black pawns are rolling.
What do you think of this one, Nick?
Well, it must be winning, but it's tricky, you know, that if you can If you can just stop those pawns coming up, like pawn to g4, and you even tried king to g3, bishop d6, check, king h4.
King h4, yeah.
You don't get checkmated, it's good. I love these games. You always see something unexpected happening.
Oh, look at that. Rook f7.
The safe move.
That's
Okay.
a, yeah.
Not a bad choice.
Well, let me go back to that game because now that we're at Sol Rook.
This is interesting too. Well,
Oh.
if white can get the G pawn and the A pawn, then black is left with the wrong color bishop.
You know, this now king comes f3.
Yeah,
And
that was a mistake, huh?
terrible move, yes.
Yeah, H4 was a bad blunder.
And I confirm in the chat that Judith can get frustrated.
And then she starts unleashing all the swear words. And so we're
That is kind of fun when that happens.
See, but like, you know, that's what makes her a genius, is that like everyone else thinks that she doesn't do that, right? But that's part of what you want to do, is you want to make it look like I don't do that, right? And then we have the people like, oh yeah, you get upset.
You know, my firm opinion is that, well, is black going to win just by approaching with the A pawn, Nick?
He shouldn't win, but it probably is good a try as anything.
I think Nick and other grandmasters can be glad that Judith decided not to. Look at this, blunder the A pawn, draw.
Oh,
Well, now the king just sits there. Now can white win this?
If black blunders a bishop and both pawns.
Yeah, why not?
uh,
Let's see.
I think I was going to say Nick can be glad that Judith decided not to put her concentration towards chess, because I think that
Oh man, she'd be like the
a grandmaster
US
for
champion.
sure. Yeah.
And just
You know, these Hungarian chess players.
Look at this solution. Go for the wrong color rook pawn. That's
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah. Oh whoa.
White decided not to take
Oh,
any
yeah.
chances, huh? Oh, I don't think exchanging rooks there was the right thing for white.
I think black's got winning chances here.
Well, with white king d5, that king is too strong for.
Don't take the knight.
Don't
take it.
don't take the knight. Only a few games left in the round. Only a handful. It looks like all the games from the lower section are done. All the games from the top section are done.
I think white is playing around here.
This is the final game of the round. Uh-oh.
Ooh, pawn to f4.
Four.
Oh, that blundered a pawn. Now black is winning easily.
And that king is just way cut off. But still,
Yeah, I maybe not totally easily, but
Pawn to h5 and try to get that pawn on h.
yeah.
oh,
Wouldn't have worked, but
And knight is nicely placed, just cutting off the king.
And black wins just by making, forcing white to give up the bishop.
Nice, nice win.
Well played.
Yeah.
Anantiga Ramesh. Congratulations, hopefully.
Just don't play.
Don't go knight h1.
You gotta watch out.
Oh, he found it.
Oh, nice move, 94.
2 games left, Judith saying.
Very well done.
Two games left? I see results for everything. Except one. Alright. Oh, last forward of 1600 plus is still going. Let's see. Yeah, no kidding.
Very white cleverly plays into the corner. And black didn't quite, yeah.
Well, this will work.
Making a new queen is a good idea.
There we go. And actually, the last 2 games are going to be king and queen checkmates here. That is one. This is the final game. That just happened. And the round is done. 2 rounds are in the books here at the San Francisco Scholastic Championship. So the next round is not going to be till 1 o'clock. And if you're following the broadcast is going to resume starting at 2 o'clock. And then we're going to go from round 4 and 5 and go all the way through. So round 3, we're gonna miss round 3, but by the time we pick up round 4, we'll go through all the standings. We'll go through what's going on. And a little bit later on in the show, we're going to have Coach Jay Stallings on the broadcast to hang out with us for a little bit to check in on all the action. So, Glenn, thanks for hanging out with us. And
Thanks for having me.
I'll be reminding everyone the U.S. Junior Congress coming April 10th through the 11th, organized by the Mechanics Institute, along with Chess Weekend. And we're looking forward to putting on a great show for everyone, and we're going to try to get all these kids over to that one. If they're loving the experience here, they're going to have the same, even better, especially with Glenn and Merritt and their team helping out with everything. So thanks for joining us. And Nick and Paul, we will be back at 2 p.m. And everyone, come back to this channel, 2 p.m. We'll pick up the start of round 4, and we'll take you all the way through till the end of the San Francisco Scholastic Championship. So let's
Thanks
see.
for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see who we can raid, because we got some raid love from Josh Friedel. And let's see if the Chess Dojo crew is up and running. They are not. But I see Eric Rosen's there. He's rated us in the past, so why not? So everyone come back, 2 p.m. We'll be right here, same channel, and we will see you soon. Thank you, everyone.